gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Hold it. All right, man. I shoot up the wall. I shoot up the wall. I shoot up the wall. I bear witness there's only one God, Allah, and Muhammad is his final messenger. That's what I said, Larry, on the bungle fight. Thanking you.
They call me the problem, but you could call me the can man, because anybody can get it. Africans, Americans, Dominicans, Mexicans, anybody can get it.
How y'all doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Split Decision episode 83. With me today, I have a very, very special guest, the one and only Bill Trill Haney. How you doing, AKHi?
Hey, brother, bless. I'm praying for the rest, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Pleasure having you on Split Decision. As always, there is so much to talk about. I don't even know where to start. So I'm going to be hitting you from all type of angles. Now, we have Devin Haney. He stated on Twitter, he told Teofimo Lopez, welcome to the multi-millionaire club, my boy. He was talking about Teofimo walking away with $3.1 million fighting compulsus thanks to Triller. What's your take on that development?
Oh, absolutely. Shout out to Triller, I should say. I've been having a hard time pronouncing it, but I'm going to get it together. I believe it is Triller. So shout out to Triller and being the new company, on the block. You know what I mean? We're very familiar with that. You know what I'm saying? Being a new company and being doubted and stuff like that. Of course, I don't compare our company to Triller by no means. You know what I mean? I know they got a big bank, I hear. They came in and they offered an unprecedented amount of money to both the Lopez family and the Cambosos family. So shout out to them. And like Devin said, welcome to the multi-millionaire club.
Well, what's your take on the war currently between Tio and Bob Arum? Obviously, Bob Arum said Triller, they can have Tio. They could buy him out of his contract. And now Teofimo Lopez, he threatened to go to war against Top Rank. What's your take on that whole development?
Well, anytime you got a dispute or arbitration of any kind or a threatening message coming from a promoter that, a fighter like Teofimo is headed towards arbitration. That's not a good thing for for the fans or his peers, and Devin, you know what I mean? I don't think that, we wish that on anyone to be in any kind of dispute. We know how ugly the disputes can be. We saw how long Mikey Garcia sat out, just to name someone that has had the problem with the same company.
Yeah, we definitely don't need that dispute. But knowing the drama that's taking place between Bob Arum and Teofimo Lopez, do you think that helped the chance of you getting a Teofimo Lopez fight for your son? Will Bob Arum now want to throw him in there with the Wolves, or does it hurt it?
Well, you know what? What Teofimo did was he exercised an option into going and making a fight happen. I don't think it's the fight that the people necessarily want, but we got a chance to see a fighter exercise an option to go out and campaign on his own and get a fight that he wanted. So, I don't think that it's any slight towards us in any way. What it does represent is the ability that Tio and Devin could in the future, discuss a fight and make a fight happen.
Yes, sir. Now, obviously, Devin Haney and Jorge Linares, they were going back and forth on Twitter, and Linares claimed out of nowhere he never received a contract after it been confirmed that he did receive the contract by Golden Boy Gomez. He confirmed that they did. So what's your take on Linares now claiming that he haven't received the contract? Devin Haney is capping. Send me a picture. What's your take on that whole development?
Well, I heard it from another promoter in the sense of I heard it from Samson, that Samson had said that he spoke to Eric Gomez with Golden Boy Promotions, and he was aware that the contract was on the table. I also spoke to Eddie Hearn, who said that an offer was sent over as well. So that's about as all that I've heard of actually offers going to Linares, is both from Eddie Hearn and Samson.
So is Linares misinformed, or is he taking a page out of Teofimo Lomachenko book? What's going on?
Well, I mean, I definitely believe that Linares is misleading in the sense of that it's easy to just ask the promoter, ask the promoter has an offer came over, as far as that goes. I think I'm more than certain that he has made himself available, and he's fought on the DAZN network, so it shouldn't be any problems in terms of that. Unlike a lot of other available to DAZN.
Yes, sir. Now, Ryan Garcia is available. From the outside looking in, is it possible that Linares waiting a Ryan Garcia opportunity, and maybe he trying to go that direction because Ryan could potentially steal any Devin Haney opponent? So can that be the case?
Well, I mean, what we have to do is definitely give a shout out to Ryan Garcia over the weekend for the Canelo fight. He did a wonderful job cheerleading. Anytime you have a big event of that magnitude, and shout out to Eddie and Canelo, who both put on a spectacular event. It was a lot of fireworks, and like I said, it was a lot of cheerleading going on. The number one cheerleader being in, and Queen Lion Garcia. So he is the mandatory for the mandatory position, and all the rest of these guys and fights that are being suggested are just suggestions, and they're plan Bs to the actual plan A. When Devin and I made the trip to Dallas, Texas to watch Luke Campbell and him fight, and then we were more than certain that the winner was supposed to have been fighting Devin for the belt. And then when Ryan got on, Lion got on the mic, he said he started calling for Tank, a fighter that's not on the network. So once I knew that he heard that, I knew that it was going to be some problems, with making that fight, at least making that fight on the DAZN platform, So like I've said before, what I mean? I had the mask on, and and I told Devin to slap the shit out of him, and that probably would have jarred him enough to get the kahunas, what I mean? To then pursue the fight. So he went on to later on say that who has Devin fought, and what interest does Devin bring to fighting him, and all this other rhetoric that the people know that what I mean is not true. So we don't know what to make of Queen Lion Garcia right now.
Well, since Ryan pulled out of the Manny Pacquiao fight, and then obviously he pulled out of negotiations with Devontae.
Lion pulled out of the thing until he can put some respect on both Devin's name and his name. I won't call him Ryan. So
yes, sir. Now, is he now going to do what he promised Eddie Hearn? Because Eddie, he pretty much checked Ryan Garcia over the weekend. He told him, listen, if you're not going to fight Pacquiao nor Gervonta, then Devin Haney must be next because you Devin Haney mandatory. I mean, usually when a fighter is someone mandatory, they will take the opportunity to become a champion and fight the champion, which is Devin in Ryan situation. So are you pretty much you think he's gonna step up to the plate, or there's zero chances of that happening?
Well, well, it's all about being in a position to make these things happen. And the thing about Devin is he's in a position to make it happen. And I don't respect the fact that everyone is saying, you know, who has he fought or what top 10 fighter he's fought. He fought the number one contender, and Zaur Abdullah, who was ranked number 10. You know, in the world at the particular time. You know what I mean? I think he's ranked like number 20 or something now, but I believe that he was ranked in the top 10 at that particular time. So when you talk about also Ryan saying that, you know, what a great fight he had, or what a statement fight he made in the Luke Campbell fight, which I do consider it as a good win. But when you talk about now discrediting other opponents, such as a legendary hopefully future Hall of Famer, and Yuriorkis Gamboa, who's way more accomplished than Luke Campbell, who was never won a world title. You know what I mean? And also Gamboa was a gold medalist as well. So if you do amateur backgrounds, and then you talk about the pros, in which Gamboa, who beat Orlando Salido, who beat Lomachenko, you talk about Gamboa, who beat Jason Sosa, who also beat Javier Fortuna. Then you talk about Yuriorkis Gamboa, who went the longest distance against the famed punching power, the 2-division world champion, extremely hard puncher, and Gervonta Davis. He went 12 rounds with him. Gave Gervonta Davis 2 black eyes in the process, 10 months prior to Devin fighting him. And also Gamboa had a torn Achilles during the fight. So a healthy Gamboa, we pitched a shutout against him, and it's just for everyone to discredit Devin. You know what I'm saying? And force us to now match energy with them. You know what I'm saying? It's something that we don't have doing.
Right. Now, but I mean, like you pointed out, it's kind of ironic and hypocritical on Ryan Garcia's behalf for him to tell Devin to fight somebody. On the other hand, like you pretty much pointed out, Ryan Garcia only fought Luke Campbell. And according to Ryan Garcia himself, he said out of his own mouth, Luke Campbell is notoriously known for losing, right? So he keep telling the champion Devin Haney to fight somebody when he's Devin Haney mandatory. That's unheard of.
Absolutely. And then that's what brings all this so much controversy with the whole thing about is who has he fought when he's in the position, when he's ranked higher than him as well. So why would you tell a fighter that's ranked higher than you who has he fought? Why would you tell a fighter that has a WBC world title who has he fought? You know what I mean? So like I said, it's a lot of contradictions and Garcia, and you know what I mean? We intend on, you know what I mean, speaking on it. You know what I mean? We've held that long enough. You know what I mean? We've been constant professionals. You know what I mean? In the sense of only thing we ever did was ask these guys for fights, and these guys have downplayed us, talked about us, and everything else. And like I said, it's time to match energy for energy.
Yes, sir. Now, if Devin vacates the belt today and move up to 140, wouldn't you agree that Ryan will request to fight for that title, the WBC regular title, the same day? You know, if Devin Haney vacates the belt and move up?
Oh, absolutely. And I don't just think that it would be, you know what I mean? It wouldn't just be Ryan Garcia. Then it would probably be a long line of guys that are, you know what I mean, on Mauricio to make the fight happen, you know, with Ryan Garcia.
And the long line is?
You know what I mean? You name it. I think everyone is in the lightweight division is looking to expose Ryan.
Yeah, so I mean, Teofimo, you know, he will definitely be interested in becoming undisputed, the real undisputed, if Devin does vacate the belt. So it's not about the title, it's about who's holding the title. if that's the case.
I believe so.
Right now, obviously Eddie Hearn, he had a conversation with Ryan Garcia in which you know, Ryan told Eddie, I will fight anyone. I will fight anybody. So Eddie responded, you should fight Devin then. And then Ryan shortly responded by stating, Devin don't excite me. So Ryan willing to fight anybody or really nobody? Which one is it? If you're willing to fight anybody, why not fight Devin?
Well, like I said, you complicate the situation even more when you have a world title. You are the mandatory, and actually you're asking for a fighter in Gervonta Davis. Take no mistake about him. He's a great young fighter, right? But he's fighting at 130. He's looking for competition at 130. I'm hearing that he might just jump over the 35-pound division and go up and challenge the likes of a Mario Barrios or someone like that, you know. So you know what I mean? It's just you know, it's unprecedented times right now, both inside and outside the ring.
Yes, sir. Now, Tank did say on Instagram yesterday that he's going to announce his fight in a few days. And prior to that, he said he ain't going to fight at 126, nor 130, nor 135, and is going to be a champion. So people are mentioning Marios Barros. What do you think about that potential matchup for Gervonta Tank Davis? You know, moving up to a new division. You know, jumping up all the way to 140.
Well, when you talk about the 140-pound class, not that it's not great fighters in there, but it's not as a deep class as the 135-pound division. You know, I would definitely give a shout out to Mario Barrios, who's been there. We're very familiar with him. We've sparred him, you know, numerous times over at Virgil Hunter's gym. You know what I mean? But it would be a great opportunity for Barrios to get a statement fight, get on stage against you know, a quality opposition as Gervonta Davis. So you know what I mean. You know, what can you do? I cannot hate on that. You know what I'm saying? But like I said before, you know, we're pissed off. We're pissed off, but we're patient.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, do you see that fight as a competitive fight, a 50-50 fight? What's your thoughts on that fight if it does come to fruition?
Well, I think that what would make it competitive is because of the length that Barrios brings and the height and everything that he brings. But the explosiveness of a Gervonta Davis, I think, will overwhelm Barrios, and you know, give him the problems that the Mayweather camp sees that he will present. I don't think that that's a fight that they believe is a 50-50 fight by any stretch.
Yes, sir. Now, I do got to give you a quote that Ryan Garcia said. He said, if I want to call myself a champion, I can. And then he posted his interim belt on Instagram. What's your thoughts on his comments claiming if he wants to call himself a champion of the world, he can?
Well, the thing about it is that the interim belt is a belt that if the champion does not want to fight you, or if the champion should leave, you know what I mean, should get hurt, should do anything, then the interim champion could step in. So I don't want to downplay his position, right? But I also want to make the people fully aware that the interim belt is the belt that challenges the world champion for the full world champion. So, you know, in the sense of, if we could not make a true undisputed, then for surely we should, you know, clean up the division, right? And if Ryan Garcia doesn't want to participate or be a part of it, then he should be moved from the rankings.
Yes, sir. Now, so what's your take? Why is Ryan talking like he's Canelo Alvarez when he really haven't proven anything in the boxing game? He keeps saying titles don't matter, this and that, but he never won a title, which is that's the dream of a fighter growing up.
Well, I mean, I think with Ryan, it's a conflict between being a boxing star and a TikTok star, you know? So, you know what I mean? I think that, you know, should he not get, you know, from what I'm hearing, should he not get what he wants? He's going to explore, doing more YouTube, TikTok, and all those other kind of things as a profession.
Oh man. Yeah. So it's I mean, obviously neither Pacquiao nor Javante is next for Ryan. So is it looking like Fortuna from, I mean, the rumors they do say is Fortuna, but Ryan denied them rumors.
I have no idea. What I always say is, we did our due diligence. We did it both, behind the scenes as well as on the scene. It's one thing to tweet out a fight, or it's one thing to go on Instagram or something like that, or ask for the fight in the ring. But you also, as from a business standpoint, you're supposed to do all the things behind the scenes as well to get the fight to happen. And shout out to Eddie Hearn, who did a great job in cornering Ryan Garcia in, you know what I mean, and admitting that if he didn't get the Tank fight and if he didn't get the Pacquiao fight, that he would quote unquote consider Devin. You know what I mean? And he said yes. So as soon as he walked away from Eddie, the consideration went out the window. He stopped considering Dev and then started, saying that it's Tank or nothing. Now, I don't understand the Tank or nothing response. You know what I mean? You're a fighter and you're a young fighter. So, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, but he's not negotiating with Tank though.
Right. Well, that's the ironic part about it, is that not only are you not negotiating with Tank, you are taking the opportunity, you're taking the liberty to exercise to the people on the DAZN platform and promote a fight with you and Tank when you have everything that you want, and you have a willing promoter and both Devin and Eddie, that are willing to make the fight happen. You have a network that's salivating for the fight, who in Eddie's terms said that hold on, excuse me one second.
Yeah, we'll be right back. Shout out to Kenny Basement. Appreciate the love and support. If you got any question that you want to ask Bill, go ahead, throw a super chat. Definitely get it to him. Oh man, Brandon, what's going on? AKHi, does Bill think the herd slash the Hearn, I think the Hearn slash Aram beef affect Devin? Question. Okay, that's a good question. I didn't know they had a beef. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that share. Um, Make sure you guys click on the notification bell to get notified every time I post or go live. You see, there's nearly 800 people in the house, and we only have around a couple hundred likes. So the ratio don't match. I need all my AKHis in the house to hit that like button. Obviously, we got a hundred and so likes, but 800 people is in the house. So make sure you guys hit that like button, quit hating, and appreciate the movement. Like I said before, there's a lot of emotional fans everywhere. However, the truth separate. There's two sides to every story, but when the truth is spoken, the other side is nothing but a lie. So, to everyone tuning in, if you disagree, make sure you guys call in, because we're gonna have we praying on a decaf or two to call in today. So let's just hope they actually grow some cojones and call in today. Waiting for Bill to get back. Look like he has some company.
My bad, bro.
Are you good? You good, Bill?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So, yeah, you were cooking on Ryan. You were cooking on Ryan, but like I said, you talking about how the situation he had with Eddie Hearn, where he promised Eddie, or at least he told Eddie that he gonna fight Devin if he don't fight Gervonta, but he said if it's Gervonta or nothing, as if he gonna retire tomorrow if Gervonta don't fight him. But on another note, he said that he, when they asked him, "Have you started negotiating with Gervonta?" He said, "You guys gonna know in few months." But when the Pacquiao fight presented itself, he announced it the next day when it was 1% done. We don't know what's going on with mine.
This guy Lion Garcia, boy, I'm telling you.
Yes, sir. So I have a super chat for you. My man said, "Does Bill think that Hearn/Aaron beef affects Devin?" Question mark. He referring to the Teofimo Lopez fight and all the mega fights he could make with Bob Arum.
You know what? Arum is yet to openly negotiate or deliver, or you know what I mean, even suggest that he plans on making any of these mega fights with any of his fighters. I hear a lot of Twitter stuff going on, a lot of stuff between, of course, Devin and the top ranked fighters, but you know what I mean. I have yet to see it. I know that when we were in the opportunity, when we had the opportunity to get on his helmet, you know what I mean, we did. We petitioned, to fight a top ranked fighter, right? And that's all that you can basically do. And he didn't deliver him then. And you know what I'm saying? I don't have any faith in Arum, but I do have faith in the people that drive they drive the boxing. You know what I mean? The fans pay for these things, and if they don't pay for the fights, then the fights can't happen. If they pay for them, if they plan for them, then those are the fights that the promoters are going and the networks are going to have to put on.
Yes, sir. I have another super chat for you. My man said, Kenny based on Ryan Garcia going to request the franchise interim title.
That's a good one right there. That's a good one right there, man.
Well, speaking of the franchise witness protection or the franchise designation, Devin Haney, he went back and forth with Vasil Lomachenko. Devin asked, "Where the fuck is Loma?" And Loma responded, "I'm here. I'm waiting on you cowards to fight each other." That's what Loma said instead of asking to fight. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, Devin has been vocal about it. He was in the ring, and he called him Lomachenko. You know what I mean? He knows that we petitioned the WBC to fight him. You know what I mean? He doesn't have a belt. I mean, if he responds on Twitter and everyone goes crazy, but then you don't hear the promoter and him aligned with making the fight the way that you hear Eddie and Devin aligned with making the Ryan Garcia fight. So until I hear it that they are on a united front and Lomachenko is willing to come over and ready to come over to the zone and make the fight, I think he's just talking. Bob Arum, like I said, I'm Bob Arum. I'm really confident in Lomachenko because when Lomachenko had the opportunity, he took a year off, right? He took a year off and made us go the route that we're on. You know what I mean? He made these problems. It wasn't that the WBC, because Arum and Loma looked in the rule book and requested the franchise designation. So to come back now and say that you're waiting on what? What are you waiting on, my man?
Yes, sir, Brian. Now, what's your take on Loma? He also said, well, he took a page out of Tio's book by saying you haven't fought anybody instead of saying, let's fight. Now he referring to what Tio be saying and what Ryan and everyone else be saying.
Well, he's in the world, you know what I mean? He's number, I believe he's number 3. I think it's in the 135-pound division. It's Tio, it's Gervonta, it's Lomachenko. You know what I mean? So it's not about who has he fought. He's in the position just like all of the other 14 or 15 fighters that he fought. And who did he fight when he got a shot at the world title? You see what I'm saying? In 1 or 2 fights, right? So it wasn't about that for him. So why do you change the narrative when it comes to Devin? You know, the Lomachenko team. He's been on bullshit since he lost to Teofimo, making up excuses and all the shit. Well, now, my man, you're in a position that you got to work your way back up, just like Devin had to work, and nothing is being handed to you, on a silver platter. If you want to come and get it, come on and get it. You know what I'm saying? But stop all the bullshit about us not wanting to fight you, right? Devin has been wanting to fight. Devin wanted to fight you to have his opportunity to shine, and you neglected that for him. You know what I mean? So now to come back and say that who has he fought once again when you know he's the world champion and you don't have a belt, it's blasphemy.
Well, Devin did respond by stating, I was definitely waiting on you to fight when I was your mandatory and you petitioned for the franchise title. Devin Haney referring to the moment Lomachenko was stripped of his WBC title for avoiding Devin Haney. And obviously Loma, he didn't respond with anything. So what's your take?
That's the most disrespectful thing, is to then come back and say that he's a coward when he called you Lomachenko and he called you out, right? And then for him to say that he wants to fight you, then you ask, who has he fought? And you call him a coward. It's just no respect for the boxing game whatsoever. Devin didn't call him a coward, right? He said he spoke the facts and said that he vacated the belt. In his own words, Lomachenko actually said that he also vacated the belt. And they're saying that he vacated to do whatever that he decided to do. But was Devin a coward then, right? So why would he be a coward? Why is he a coward now, right? If he wasn't a coward then, right, what makes him a coward? So, these guys say everything, but let's fight now. The respectful thing would have been because Teofimo Lopez doesn't want to give you your rematch that you wanted to do. When you have an opportunity to fight again to get back on the map, here you come with some bullshit. You talk about cowards. You talk about you're waiting on cowards. What cowards are you talking about that you're waiting on? Who are you waiting on? You see what I'm saying? And why are you waiting, right? Why are you waiting? Why aren't you in the office with Bob Arum and we're strategizing and trying to make this fight happen, right? Why are you talking about on Twitter about Devin needs to do something else, right? If Devin holds the belt for you to get back in the game, why are you questioning him about who has he fought, right? It just doesn't make sense to me, AKHi.
I mean, you coming with facts, Bill. I mean, Loma didn't fight nobody to prove himself when he got the title shot opportunity against Salido. But Devin, he fought his way to the mandatory position,
right?
And Lomachenko declined, and he
right.
was willing to get
Abdulaev, who Bob Arum said that was the mandatory for Lomachenko, and I think didn't I play it?
Yes, sir. Yeah, you played it.
I played it, right? So that he said that. So Devin fought Zaur Abdulaev, and then to act like you're not the challenger, right? Is bullshit, right? To not have the respect that a challenger should have for a champion that's in that position, right? We respected that. We called you out, right? We petitioned to the WBC, right? We did the things to fight you, and then for you to come back now and to say he's a coward. What makes him a coward, right? No one else was mentioning you then. Just now, no one asked for you. Devin said, "Where the fuck is Lomachenko at?" No one else said nothing, but you come back still with bullshit, right? Instead of actually being a champion and being a real man and talking about it and going behind the scenes. We know what fighter talk is, right? And then going back and saying behind the scenes, let's try to make this thing happen, right?
Yes, sir. Well, he petitioned for the witness protection for a reason, so there's no surprise. But speaking of, we do want to know what's your thoughts on this super chat. My man Southpaw Killer said, Any news on Mauricio correcting the real WBC champion?
What we don't even pay attention to that shit no more. You know what I'm saying? Because we understand everything that still comes with fighting for what you got to get. I mean, he has been described as the undisputed champ. He was billed as the undisputed champ. Mauricio came on and said he was the undisputed champ. But then when it came time to get paid, what was he offered? Was he offered money as a WBC champ? No, by Top Rank, because Top Rank knows what they put in money-wise, what they put in effort-wise to build this guy. This guy still isn't recouped, right? They spent a lot of money to build him up to look like this killer, this knockout artist, this undisputed guy. But when it came time to being treated like that, his own company didn't treat him or respect him like that because he was given it. You know what I mean? He was carefully positioned and moved in a way when he moved out of the WBC tournament, you know, to go to the IBF, right, against top ranked fighters, Nakatani, Kome, who was the other one? Lomachenko. Those are all top ranked fighters. You see what I'm saying? And when we talk about Top Rank, the company Top Rank, it's no secret that the best thing over there at Top Rank is Bruce and Brad, the matchmakers. You know what I mean? Period. That's the best thing over there at Top Rank in terms of from the executive standpoint. Now, if you know anything about boxing, then if you know you need to be brought up right, you need to be developed right, then Top Rank is the place to go because of those two guys, Bruce and Brad, the matchmakers, right? When it came to Devin, we took the stairs. We didn't take the elevator. We went to Tijuana, right, as a young kid, right, and he fought against the competition over there and developed the ability to get in a ring when everybody was against you. When the sanctioning, the sanctioning organizations over there, the fans, everything is against him, right? You know, and he developed, right? Developed in a way that we went to Showbox, right? Where it's the new generation, where fighters, you know, you go and you fight the young best in the business. Devin then fought a 33-2 Mason Menard, right? A 25-0 Endon Jenny, you know, and a 33-2 Juan Carlos Burgos, who had fought Mikey Garcia for a world title, you know what I mean? And arguably, you know what I mean, hurt him throughout the fight, right? So, you know, we definitely took the stairs, and people tend to want to, you know, whether it be Lomachenko fans, whether it be Top Rank fans, you know what I mean? They kick bullshit instead of just saying that this would make for a great fight. I always give those guys props as saying they are great fighters, right? I'd say that the Top Rank team, the executive team, is a great team, Hall of Fame team, right? But when they talk about us, they kick bullshit. You see what I'm saying? And Devin is the only fighter, and we're the only company that they do that with. You see what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? I just, you know, I'm here matching energy and calling calling them on their shit.
Oh, you putting the truth together like puzzle, Bill. That's what you're doing. Hey, but what's your take on Vasyl Lomachenko? There's rumors, well, not rumors. Bob Arum came out and said that he's trying to match him up with Nakatani. What's your take on that fight as a comeback fight for Vasyl Lomachenko?
Great fight. Nakatani is a great young fighter, you know what I'm saying, who proved himself against Felix Verdejo, you know what I'm saying, went in a comeback win, you know what I mean. But with all due respect, Nakatani, you know what I mean, he's not a Devin Haney. You see what I mean? So if you're talking about, you know what I mean, a tune-up, you know what I'm saying, Devin Haney is no tune-up.
And you guys are eyeing Lomachenko.
We're eyeing everybody. We're eyeing the best fights that's available.
Yes, sir. Now, I have another super chat for you. Thoughts on Broner versus Postal at 140?
We, you know, we're familiar with Postal. Of course, we put in some work with Postal down at the Wild Card Boxing Gym, both Postal and Ramirez. So we're very familiar with both of them. I think the Postal has a kind of length and a kind of size to give Broner problems at this stage of Broner's career, especially Broner having to come down to 140, because I just can't see him getting down right now. You know, the last fight was supposed to have been billed at 140, but I don't think they ever had any intentions of going to 140. But you know what I mean? That would make for a good fight for Broner.
What about a potential matchup between Devin Haney and Broner? The last time I think Broner asked, what did he ask for, 10 or 20 million to fight Devin?
Yeah, I think he asked for 20. Yeah, he asked for 20 million. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that. Yeah, 20. Yeah, 20 million.
Yeah. So what's your take on that potential matchup between Broner and Devin Haney, if Broner is willing to come to his senses?
Well, I mean, shit. We heard what he said about Jay-Z when Jay-Z offered him 40 million. So I got to be careful with Broner.
But is that a fight you guys would like to entertain in the future?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's talked about it. Devin has talked about the Broners, of the world. You know what I mean? And everything that Broner has accomplished. Is Devin. He's a very accomplished fighter. I think he's on the back end of his career. You know what I mean? And I always want to salute fighters. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's no longer. We've taken the gloves off. You know what I mean, in terms of business and how we're dealing with the media and what we're saying about these fighters. You know what I mean? Because they're not giving us the same respect. So we must match energy for energy.
One thing for sure, we know Devin called out Broner, I believe, when he was 17 years old. He called out Broner and Robert Easter, if I'm not mistaken. We have yes, I have another super chat. Appreciate the super chat, my brother. We have a lot of super chat flooding in. Another super chat. I appreciate the love and support. I gotta take another one right here. Del Ciano and call out Ryan on IG speaking Spanish since Ryan can't speak Spanish, embarrassing him into a fight. Well, I don't think Devin could do anything to get Ryan into a fight at this moment.
Well, what we can do is we can ask Ryan to show his birth certificate, because I think Devin probably has more Mexican in him than Ryan. You see what I'm saying? Ryan is not representing the Mexican community that I know. You know what I'm saying? The never back down, straightforward. You know what I mean? SO, get him, you know what I mean? We come out of Tijuana, you know what I'm saying? Fighting. So we know the spirit and the energy. We grew up right here in the Bay Area, and I have friends that are Hispanic that I grew up with, you know what I'm saying? That live right next door to me, you know what I mean? And they wasn't no punks, you know what I'm saying? They stood on what they, and represented this shit. So, I have a deep, respect and a great respect for the Hispanic community, you know what I mean? Mexicans in general, and Ryan Garcia, you know what I mean? He was, he fucked. I don't even know what that was. I don't even know what it was. Was he speaking Spanish, English? I don't even fucking know. You know what I'm saying? But we need to see his birth certificate.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, but I gotta get your take on Teofimo Lopez. He recently, shockingly, he said, listen, Devin never sent me a contract to fight for $4 million, even though obviously you and Senior agreed for the $4 million. Senior agreed to fight Devin for $4 million, but when they saw Eddie, they requested $10 million. So there's no point of Eddie to send them a contract for $4 when they asked for 10 in front of his face. So that told us that they were not sincere. Then obviously Teofimo Lopez came out and said that he was going to send you guys a contract. All of a sudden, a few months later, obviously the contract never arrived to this day. But now Teofimo saying he never received the contract when he was the one supposedly was supposed to send the contract. What's your thoughts on Teofimo Lopez being all over the place?
I don't know. I don't know what to say about Lopez. You know, I just don't. You know what I mean? He's all over the place. He knows that the people that this was an opportunity that he said in the infamous meeting with shout out Barbershop Conversations that had the face off between Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney, right? And in that meeting, both of them said and agreed that they were going to fight for the belts when the opportunity presented itself. The opportunity presented itself. Now, the road that he took, right, is he says, well, why am I going to fight you, Devin? Why am I going to fight harder fights when I can go over here and fight easier fights and get to Lomachenko? We said, okay, you know what I mean? But he definitely knew that that was going to be the hardest division because Devin Haney was over there, right? Not because of anyone else, but because it was Devin Haney. So I don't want to argue about the who has he fought and who has he not fought. You know what I mean? I think it just it waters down the sport, you know, when it's positioning and ranking that called for the fights and not who you fought. How do you then become the judge and jury about how Devin is ranked and who is he fought? You know what I mean? And that pertains to Lomachenko, that pertains to Ryan Garcia, and that pertains to Tejo Lopez.
But when it comes to Teofimo more so, he was the one that's supposed to send the contract, but now he's asking about Devin Haney contract when he the one that said, I'm going to send the contract, you know, so.
Well, when you talk about that, right, you talk about being in a position that when a promoter comes to you and the promoter says, okay, let's sit down and let's seriously talk about making these fights happen, you know, and that's what you can really do. You know what I'm saying? We know that we've given Eddie Hearn all the opportunity, right? We've given him every green light to talk to the powers that be to make the best fights happen, right? Bob Arum stated that he would want to talk to Eddie, right? So if in the case of when we want to fight Teofimo, right?
Oh, well, we just lost Bill for a second. He should be right back. Probably people calling him in the meantime. But just give Bill a few moments and he should be right back. Um, yes, sir. Yeah, we lost you for a second, Bill, but yeah, you were talking about pretty much the situation with Tio, you know, sending you
Hey, I can't. I need to hear you. I need to hear you better. Hold on. Shit. Fucking
1 2 1
thing.
2. Yeah, 1 2 1 2.
Man, I was cooking. I had my laptop going today, and now I'm back on this iPhone. Hold on.
Well, your phone died on you.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
No, it's the mic. I mean, it's like real staticky and shit.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, how about now?
Uh-huh.
Hold
Wait. Hold on. I'm back on. I'm back on like popcorn. Okay, come on.
Okay, but hold on. So I got you. So we had two bills in the house.
Because I got on my phone, I got my laptop going now, but then when my computer cut off, I went on and got on the phone, but I got my computer back on, so we good to go.
Yes, sir,
two bills. Hey, listen, two bills would be a problem. You see what I mean? A real problem. One is enough. Two, oh my God.
It's over. It's over. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But yeah, you were cooking on, basically, let's just make this clear. This is not the first time Teofimo claiming he sent you guys a contract and he didn't. This has happened on more than one occasion where Teofimo said he sent you guys a contract and he never did.
The thing about it is I have more issues with them instead of doing in the best interest of the boxing in a whole, you know what I mean, as a sport and the community, is to stop the bullshit about who have we fought. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the most irritating thing that pisses us off, is that even though, you know what I mean, we were independents, we fought with Matchroom the last 4 fights, right? And we've worked our way to be in a position, right, to fight these guys, and the people want to see it, right? That they then say all this other shit, which is complete bullshit, right? You're saying you sent over the contract, but who has he fought, right? It just doesn't make sense, and I think that it's intended not to make sense,
If you can't beat them, don't fight them, and that's the code they move by. Then that's what it is. Because like you said earlier, if Devin vacates the belt today, the whole division will be hunting for that belt, not giving a damn who they got to fight for, as long as it's Devin Haney. And there's no secret. You know what I'm saying? I have another super chat for you though. Why haven't anyone purchased this? Purchase the sectioning bodies that eliminate ducking and all these loopholes that enable top guys to duck? Any insight? Question mark.
I don't know about what that would mean about purchasing a sanctioning body or anything like that, but the thing that I know that Teofimo colluded in the sense of, that's what the description that Bob Arum did, right? And when you talk about Devin, who has also been DMing Lomachenko, you know what I'm saying? And for Lomachenko to come out and says that he's waiting on what? We were waiting on a response from you in terms of wanting to fight. Then you come back and you say you're waiting and Devin is a coward. I think you're looking for an argument instead of looking for a fight. You know what I'm saying? Because if Kambosos them can sit down and talk about it, then why in the hell Devin and him couldn't talk about it? He has him in his DMs. He responded in the DMs, so he know that he has him. So when he asked where the fuck is Devin, I mean, when Devin says where the fuck is Loma, right? Why not send him back and say, hey, okay, I'm here, I'm ready to go. Let's see, can we make this happen? But you come confusing and say cowards. You're waiting on cowards, right? What do you mean, right? When you're a challenger, or I wonder, has he ever been a challenger, right? Does he even know, how hard it is to be a challenger and to get to a world title, right? Because he was given the opportunity, right, soon as he came in the game. So he knows nothing about the things that we've went through, right? He knows nothing about how it feels to be being called the things that Devin is being called, right? And the descriptions that's being given. He knows nothing about that because he never came in a game like that. You know what I mean? He came in a game being given amateur accolades, right? Credence to him being a pro, right? which is totally different, right? You're supposed to come in and earn yours, right? So to say that we didn't earn ours, right, is a direct contradiction to him, because you didn't earn yours to get a shot. But we respect positioning. We respect the fact that the position that he was in, we went through the proper channels. Devin said it after his fight that that's what he wanted to fight. He then petitioned to the WBC, got in a position, fought Zaira Abdullah, who Aram said was the mandatory, right? We got in the WBC tournament with Javier Fortuna, Teofimo Lopez, right? Fighters that people are saying are great fighters, right? They're saying that they're great fighters. With Devin as a young guy, younger than all of them, got in the tournament. They got out the tournament, right? Both Sampson has said that he's ducked Devin on numerous occasions, right? And then when we're in a position to make the fight happen that the people want to see, right? And we're at the money side of it. Here comes Sampson and saying, okay, they want to fight and all this other stuff, right? When you were the mandatory, Sampson was the mandatory, Sampson and Fortuna was the mandatory, and now they're not the mandatory. They're not the number one mandatory. How do you lose your mandatory position if you did not make a decision based on your well-being money-wise, or you made a decision based on you didn't want to fight him, but neither to say you lost your position. We didn't lose our position. When we got in the position, we were firm about it. We went down to Mexico City and petitioned on the same weekend, the same day that we petitioned to fight Lomachenko. Our petition was either give us the fight with Lomachenko or elevate us to full world champion, because we were already the interim champion. We're the interim champion the same way that Ryan Garcia is. So we did what Ryan Garcia should do. Demand the fight with Devin, and if Devin doesn't want to fight Ryan Garcia, then he gets stripped, right? So that's what would happen. That's the legal ramifications of it, right? But in the sense of what, instead of just taking this being stripped and vacating the belt in the way that it's old school, right? This new shit came on, and you petition, right? You petition to say that you are the best, right? When technically, if you win a vacant belt, you have 6 months, right? You have 6 months to defend against your mandatory, right? Which in 1 year, it took him 1 year to fight Teofimo Lopez. So he could have, but he took the opportunity, right, away from Devin, right? And then comes back later on and tweets something about a coward, when all we did was respect you, brother. All we did was say that that's the best fight that the people want to see, right? That's all we ever did with the guy. But for him to disrespect and to say that he's a coward, what makes him a coward? For asking to fight him. If everyone say he's the baddest motherfucker on the planet, if they say, if Bob Arum said you was the best since Muhammad Ali and all these other things, well, what makes him a coward for saying that he wants to fight? You see what I'm saying? So it's just all bullshit. And it's so much disrespect in it, right? And it's hard for us coming from where we come from to, coming off of these bricks of East Oakland, California, to get to a position of business, right? And then to act like that. You know what I'm saying? We thought we were getting away from that kind of shit, right? You see what I'm saying? So it's just, like I say, brother, it's bittersweet. But I know that it's a great time to be in the Devin Haney business, and we are pissed off, right? Make no mistake about it. We're not around here skinning and grinning and smiling about the shit, but we are patient in the sense of that Devin is 22 years old, and you know what I mean. The rubber is going to meet the road sooner or later.
Well, I do want to inform you. Obviously, that's why Devin Haney is the boogeyman, because when Lomachenko was supposed to fight his mandatory, I believe for the WBA or the WBO against Corolla, a guy with 6 losses and 3 and 3 draws. Vasil Lomachenko,
a matchroom fighter.
Yeah, if Vasil Lomachenko fought him in a
fighter.
Yeah, you say he was a matchroom fighter?
Anthony Corolla is a matchroom fighter. He was promoted by Eddie Hearn at the particular time that Lomachenko defended against him.
Yeah, but when it was Devin Haney, all of a sudden now he's questioning the rankings. Now he's asking who he fought. And like my man on this super chat, my man just said, what doesn't Noma need a tune-up fight for if he fought for a championship in his second fight? So there's no excuse all around the board. Lomachenko fought for a title his second fight. He never proved himself, but he asking other fighters to do so. And obviously, Vasily Lomachenko said that his dream fight is with Floyd Mayweather. And ironically, Devin Haney nickname is The Dream, and he happened to be Floyd Mayweather prodigy. But he's not interested in Devin, though. However, he interested in Corolla.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. So
I'm trying to see his. Let me see. Keep cooking, brother. I'm just on my phone. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm pulling up receipts.
Oh, okay. But I mean, obviously, usually in the sport of boxing, it's always about the money. They say, oh, I ain't fighting this person because I want to fight this person because I'm going to make more money. Well, when it comes to Lomachenko, Teofimo Lopez, and even Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney will make the most money for them out of the bunch. Devin Haney gets paid more than Teofimo. Devin Haney gets paid 3 times more than Ryan Garcia. But it ain't about money.
Anthony Corolla fought for the WBA. He fought Lomachenko for the WBA and the WBO world title. Okay, so take a look at who Anthony Corolla has fought. Hold on. Anthony Corolla has fought.
2 losses.
Both to Linares. And who did he beat? Who did he beat? Hold on. Who did he beat?
He didn't beat nobody.
Who did he beat? He didn't beat anyone. Not one. Look, who did he beat? Who did he beat? He had a majority draw with Darl Perez. He had a draw again.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So it's they contradicting themselves all over the place.
He had a draw with Derry Matthews with 8 losses. Then he had a draw. Oh my God. Oh my God. Listen. So.
And it ain't just Corolla, also Murriaga. He fought Murriaga, moving up. He made him move up to 130.
Okay.
Coming up a loss.
Huh? So what you see is before he fought for the WBA world title, right? Against Darly Perez, it was 32-1. Look at the guy he fought. 20-11.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We know what time it is. The facts always remain the same.
Man, that's just so disrespectful, man. You know what I mean? And their machine is big enough that they can start this email shit, but they're the biggest email champions, right? That petition to, instead of fighting, right? I think you petition to fight, not petition to not fight, right? So they're saying Devin is petitioning to fight Lomachenko, which makes him an email champion, but they're petitioning not to fight him, both Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez. So who's the real email champions?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because Mauricio says that the way that you get, Mauricio says, listen, I didn't do it. I'm trying to make things happen. I'm trying to make the fights happen to people in the interest of boxing, right? The guys petitioned, right? That then they would get the titles, right? And then that they do the right thing, right? But if you're able to petition to not fight, then you're able to petition to fight. And what I say is if you don't got a belt, why aren't you doing it the same way that we doing it, right? Why aren't you doing the channels and doing the shit the same way we doing it? That we did it to get there, right? You saying that, oh, how many times Devin went on the internet and said something about somebody, right? They don't recognize it. Devin been saying something since fucking the boy Robert Easter was a champion, right? They don't pay no fucking attention, right? right? They say you got to get in a position. Lomachenko, when we did say something about Lomachenko, he said you got to get a belt. Well, we got his belt, right? We had the interim. He had the belt, right? Just the same way as Devin, just the same way as Ryan Garcia. But these people, some people enjoy piss on top of their heads because, you know, when they're pissing on your head and telling you it's rain, you acting like you enjoying it. You acting like it's really rain because Devin was the same thing that Ryan Garcia is. So you're going to give Ryan Garcia a hard time. Then, well, why didn't you give Lomachenko a hard time? It was the same exact process. And he, according to him, emailed Top Rank and asked to be a franchise champion and not fight. So what does that mean? You know what I mean? If somebody gives you an award and says, okay, you're the best fighter in the world, so now you're not listening to the people, right? So conveniently, now are you listening to the people, right? When you wasn't listening to the people then. It's just some bullshit, my dude.
Man, you cooking, Bill. You
I
cooking.
gotta slow down. I gotta calm down because
you cooking. You cooking. No, we need the real trill, Bill. You know, you killing. Speak the truth.
Keep cooking. I can hear you.
Yes, sir. My man said, keep pulling their panties down, Bill. Yes, sir. That's Errol, right?
Yeah, that's a young Earl Spence, man, and a young BH the Great. You dig?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. All day, every day.
I was at our gym.
Yeah, yes, sir. So it's crazy because, you know, I don't know if you can hear me, Bill, but obviously, oh, okay. Well, you know, like I said before, Devin Haney, he gets paid more than Teofimo Lopez. Devin Haney gets paid more than Ryan Garcia. So if it's about the money, why not fight Devin Haney and make the most money? And he also happened to be a champion. But you see everyone interested in the non-champion Ryan Garcia, who makes the least amount of money, than the champion Devin Haney, who makes the most amount of money, which, you know, which is because of what Devin Haney said. Ryan Garcia is the weakest link. And obviously, Ryan, on the other hand, he said Devin Haney is the toughest out of the bunch. He's my toughest opponent. That's why I want to save him last. See, when you tell the truth one time, that's all it takes. If you continue to lie after that, you already told the truth.
Right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And my man just said, Bill, all of us real ones appreciate you, brother, and we really do. We really do, Bill.
Thank you, brother. Hold on a second. Let me get my coffee. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, like I said before, this is the first time in history where a pound-for-pound champion avoids a mandatory, and when that mandatory Devin Haney became a champion, all of his mandatories want to eliminate each other. Now, before I do let you go, Bill, I gotta ask you, like you know, just how you pointed out, Fortuna was a mandatory, and he never petitioned for Devin Haney belt. Because if he petitioned for Devin Haney belt, he will have forced Devin Haney to fight him. And obviously, if Devin didn't fight him, he would have got stripped like Lomachenko did. But it's clear as day that he never petitioned because apparently he never was interested. Right. So, you know, at the end of the day, you could only fight who's available. So if no one is willing to fight you, who the heck can you fight?
And more importantly is that Devin is recognized that he is in the position to be petitioned. He is in the position to be ordered. He is in the position to be mandated, which makes him the real WBC champion and not any of this franchise nonsense, right? None of this stuff that you know, that you're going to want to pull off and say that in the sense of Mauricio saying that the true champion in the division is a champion that doesn't have mandatories. It's not going to happen. The WBA, the WBO, and IBF are going to recognize that belt. right? Period. And that's the WBC world title. So if you want to, as a people, and you want to add the franchise belt, and we want to accept the franchise belt as the franchise designation as a belt, then why don't we do this then? You make it 5 belts and not 4, right? You cannot take away the WBC full world title and all of the obligations that go along with it, and then say, okay, but no, you're the real champion because you beat Luke Campbell. No, my man, that's not true.
Yeah, Luke was never a champion. Luke lost to Linares, and he was never a champion.
Right.
And there is no franchise belt in every single division. The franchise belt only exists in 2 different divisions, where 2 fighters ordered pretty much witness protection to avoid a fighter on the coincidental list.
Right. So Lomachenko, before Lomachenko gave Luke Campbell the shot, do you see who Luke Campbell beat? And Adrian Young with 5 losses, right? Who'd he beat? Ivan Mendy with 4 losses, right? Here, you can't make this shit up, man.
Yeah, we clearly see it. We can clearly see it.
Okay, so you see, right? He had lost to Jorge Linares. He beat Troy James with 5 losses. So he lost to Jorge Linares, right? Beat Troy James with 5 losses. Ivan Mendy with 4 losses. Adrian Young with 5 losses. Then he got another shot. Then he get another shot at a title. The hell are y'all talking about, man? The hell are y'all talking about that we ain't in a position, right? wait, hold on.
Bill got his bills in his pocket, all the receipts. He ain't playing.
So let's go to Devin. Before Gamboa, 12 and now Gamboa lost 2. His only losses was Tank Davis, Crawford,
Terrence Crawford.
Tank Davis, Crawford, and Haney. Now look at his. So 12-0 Santiago, undefeated fighter. 11-0 Zairav, undefeated fighter. Antonio Moran, 24-3. Endon Jenny, 25-0. Burgos, 33-2. Menard, 33-2.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He fought his way to the top. He earned it.
Now, and the thing that I'm saying is the position, man. I'm not going and saying, okay, well, what about this fighter? What about that fighter? You see what I'm saying? Hold on.
I mean, Avini just fought Canelo Alvarez, and he was his mandatory, and Canelo fought him, and he was coming off a loss and a 2-year layoff. They didn't ask Avini who he fought to earn a title shot with Canelo.
A 2-year layoff and a loss.
And a loss.
Oh.
And he was and he got knocked out by what's his name? Eubanks. And he lost to Anthony Durrell his last fight. And like I said before, 2 fights before that, he fought a guy with like 31 losses.
Hold on 1 second, bro. Keep cooking. Let me see.
Yes, sir. So they don't ask Avini who he fought. Avini earned his title. No one asked Canelo why he fought Avini. But all of a sudden, when Canelo mandatory is Charlo, now they asking Charlo who he fought when he knocked out an undefeated J. Rock Williams, when he fought Trout, when he fought Deviachenko, right? And Canelo, he did the same thing Lomachenko did. He petitioned for the franchise title. That's the same thing Lomachenko did with Devin Haney. How ironic is it that these two fighters are undefeated and recognized as one of the best in their divisions, both Charlo and Devin. So it's not about, again, it's not about who you fought. It's about the risk. And Devin is too much of a risk because they simply feel like they can't beat him. You know, so
well,
if
like I said, is you know, it's about getting in the ring and making the best fights happen, right? And to discredit Devin and to say that that's not a fight that you would want to fight, even when you have an opportunity. When you have an opportunity in you have an opportunity in with Devin that Lomachenko would then say, oh, this is a great fight to happen. This is a young fighter. You go back to start talking about who has he fought and him waiting and you know what I mean? And you never fought somebody. What kind of shit is that? What kind of shit is that to make when you don't even have a belt? You done lost.
Yeah. Like I said, they keep questioning who Devin fought when he the most paid.
Since 2018, Lomachenko. How many undefeated fighters do you see on there?
I don't see.
Brother, this is 2021.
Teofimo, the only one.
Since 2018, brother.
Yeah.
2021.
Hold on, let me look closer. Hold on.
I'm trying to see which way the camera.
Guillermo Rigondeaux, a guy moving up 3 weight divisions. Guillermo Rigondeaux.
That's 2017, man. You talking about you going back now to, okay. There you go. Hold on. So you got 2 undefeated fighters on there, right? With Nicholas Walters
and Rigondeaux.
And Rigondeaux, right? No other undefeated fighters, and the one undefeated fighter that you did, then you lost to. So what are you talking about, man? How did them and they didn't lost? But they more qualified? Who did they fight? They didn't lost. Let's look at it one more time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, Bill, also, I need you to look at Avni Yildirim. I want you to see who he fought to earn a shot. You got to look that up. You got to look that up to just show you how.
No, before that, let's take a look. Let's take a look at Teofimo Lopez.
Nakatani, Kome.
No, let's count the undefeated fighters.
Hold on.
Don't miscount now.
Well, it's Nakatani. That's about the only one. I think, yeah, it's only Nakatani. Right? It's only Nakatani. That's the only one. It's only one Nakatani.
And he almost got beat up in that fight. You know what I'm saying? So come on, man. Come on, man. What are y'all talking about?
Hey, you think that's why he don't want to fight Devin stylistically because of what Nakatani did?
What I'm saying is, I'm telling y'all, the best matchmakers in the whole business in terms of making this shit happen, right, to the people is okay. I want to get them correct. It's Brad Jacobs and Bruce Trampler, Hall of Fame matchmakers who match the fighters up, right? And then the people to make the big events happen. This is also a business, but you talk about 2 guys behind the business. I'm talking about them brothers be cooking, man. They be cooking. Ain't no doubt about it. They be cooking. And if you ever want to be protected, you got to go to Top Rank because they running this shit. Let's take a look Let's take a look at Teofimo Lopez one more time.
Guys, it's only Nakatani he fought that was undefeated.
Okay.
There's no doubt about it. Yeah. I mean, like I said again, it's never about, you know, who you fought. It's about who you are. And they know Devin is the future. Because like I said, hey, just to give you a guy, what's his name? Avini, he lost to Anthony Durrell his last fight. Mock, he fought Mock, a guy with 14 losses. A fight before that, he got I think he got a split decision on that. A fight before that, he fought a guy with 3 wins and 31 losses. Bill,
man, I'm not fucking with them Canelo fans, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the 135-pound division. I'm not even. You know what I'm saying? They got Canelo has some great fans, some hell of a supporters. I'm not about to go against Canelo on this joint right now. I'm on their ass. I'm on the 135-pound guy's ass. You feel me? Period. Yeah, because Canelo ain't said nothing wrong to us. He ain't did none of that. So I'm matching energy with these guys. I'm bringing the smoke to these guys. You know what I mean? Because they on bullshit. You see what I'm saying? Now hold on. Let's. Oh, shit. You got time? Because I got receipts and shit. I ain't fucking around.
Up the receipts. We gonna
let's put. Damn it. Okay, who did Nakatani fight, bro? Pull up Nakatani's fights.
Nakatani.
They didn't zap my shit. They didn't. I don't know. I'm not a member of Box Rep, and I guess they see me flashing their shit.
Hey, yeah, I mean, I don't see any recognized name beside Teofimo.
How many undefeated fighters did he fight?
He fought someone that was 5-0, a fight before he fought Teofimo.
So he fought a 5-0 fighter, right? What did the 5-0 fighter do after he got through fighting Nakatani? Did he retire?
With one draw. He had a draw. Now that fighter got 4 losses now.
Okay. So he was built up with five wins by Bruce and Brad to get him to fight. So he fought. Come on, man. Y'all talking about he was ranked? Nakatani wasn't ranked in no top 10. Y'all shame on y'allself. Yes, shame on you for saying that Nakatani was ranked in the top 10 and he fought a 5-1 guy. Y'all take them lies back.
Yes, sir. What's his name? He also fought a guy that 25 fights with 7 losses and 1 draw. But yeah, I mean, like I said before, it's at the end of the day, we know what time it is.
He beat Felix Verdejo, and Verdejo had lost. Verdejo hadn't beat nobody.
If Verdejo, he got knocked out not long before that, but with that being said, how you feel about Devin Haney? He said he truly believed Teofimo Lopez is on drugs.
No comment. I don't want to get off the subject. I'm on their ass. Let's say he's healthy, but he ain't ready. They spreading rumors. They spreading bullshit. The rubber that met the road. We done took our gloves off about this business and we calling them out on it. Pull up the box rec. And y'all see, they keep talking about who we done fought. Pull up the box rec. What they was made. Let's see how they was made. Pull it up. How you gonna get to be pound for pound and on the top list, and you don't even fight niggas that ain't even all the people that you got then lost. You're not even fighting good fighters. You ain't fighting. You fighting. Devin, if you pull up Devin Haney, he done fought more undefeated fighters than any of them guys. Any of them. Pull it up.
Hey, Bill, they shut down Box Rec right now. I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, they done shut it down. They heard me on here.
That shit crazy.
Top Rank done called them. Lopez done called them. They say slow Bill down. He's on a roll.
Yes, sir. You already put up the receipts. You already put the whole truth together like puzzle, like every single time, the undisputed truth. So at the end of the end of the day, the truth is already out there. Yeah, but apparently the box rec doesn't. It's not working at the moment in time.
They get
But
a chance. They get a chance. Bruce and Brad. They get a chance to go in there and see how has the fighter lost. What does the fighter look? How did he lose? What is his deficiencies? What is his inconsistencies? And then they put him in there with him after they done seen him lose. Then they build him up on that. You saw it. You seen it. You know it. Everybody knows it. When you see a fighter just like the great Floyd Mayweather that said, we don't know how to lose. We ain't lost yet.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like I said, man, Bill, you're cooking them, man. And with that being said, what's your message to all the lightweights in the world that's treating Devin like the boogeyman, the A-class boogeyman in the sport of boxing?
Thank you for showing us the respect that the fans ain't showing. You know what I mean? Yeah, your favorite fighter got respect for Devin. You dig what I'm saying? Even if you don't. And to all our fans, blessings on top of blessings. Y'all stay safe out there. And if you see a Lomachenko fan, or you see a Teofimo Lopez fan, or you see a Ryan Garcia fan, you know what I mean? Talk to him. Be patient. Convert him over. Yeah, because we want them over here. Every one of them.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. We want the admiration of the people. We want the respect of the people. That's what this shit is all about. You know what I mean? If we was just cool with being a boogeyman or being avoided, then you wouldn't see me on here. We love the people. We love what you guys represent. We love how hard you ride for your fighters. You see what I'm saying? And that's the respect that we want to earn, because respect is earned and not given. Excuse me. Couldn't get it out fast enough.
Devin definitely earned his. Every single one. Well, I appreciate you, Bill, man. You cooked them up.
Excuse me, brother. Excuse me for coming on here like this today. But man, like I said, we are pissed off, man. You know what I'm saying? But that's where it stands at. We pissed off, but we patient. You see what I mean? And we're gonna continue to do and be diligent about making these fights happen. You know?
That's the Bill Haney we're looking for. That's the Bill Haney we're looking for. Trust me. And we loving it right now. Everybody cooking on Loma and all the lightweights. That's avoiding Devin. At the end of the day, like you said, respect is earned, not given. And Devin earned his respect. So regardless what the fans say, the fighters treat Devin like the boogeyman. The fighters treat Devin like the special out of the bunch. And that's a fact. So I appreciate your time, Bill. Man, you done cooked them up for an hour and a half. Man, you ain't even talking. You out here preaching, Bill. Appreciate you, my brother.
Listen, I appreciate you always. You know, we always get down to the undisputed truth. You know what I'm saying? And if it's anything left up for dispute, we come on here and we chop it up and we talk about it, brother. You know what I'm saying? So once again, I say to you, blessings on top of blessings to you and your family. You know, everyone in the chat, you know, y'all stay safe out there, you know, and if you're in Las Vegas, come on and see us. You know what I mean? We got the red carpet for our people.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, Bill. Always a pleasure, my brother.
All right, my man.
Yes, sir. Now that's Bill Haney for you guys. Um, I'll be right back in 5 minutes. I gotta charge the camera up and also the computer. So I'll be right back. We definitely going to be right back in 5 minutes. I think we are back live. Oh shit. Yeah. 1 2 1 2. Okay. How y'all doing, ladies and gentlemen? I think we are back live and working. Had some technical difficulties. So, sorry about all the technical difficulties. Make sure you guys call in for all the people that's tuning in. Like I said before, at the end of the day, um, we asked Bill questions. We asked Bill Haney all the questions you guys wanted me to ask him, from Lomachenko to Fortuna. I saw a super chat that I missed after Bill Haney went away about Fortuna. My man said he fought multiple undefeated fighters. Why not Fortuna? Well, that's a simple answer, because Fortuna was Devin Haney mandatory. So he don't need Devin Haney to give him an opportunity. All he has to do is do what Devin Haney did, which is petition to fight the champion by activating your mandatory position. And if the champion doesn't fight you, the champion simply gets stripped of his belt. It's that simple. The same thing happened to Lomachenko when Devin Haney petitioned for that belt. But Fortuna never petitioned for Devin Haney belt. He never wanted to fight Devin Haney. So he only calls out Devin Haney when Devin Haney has a fight coming up. And now he already lost his mandatory position. But nevertheless, the topic of conversation today was Lomachenko. And now when, Devin Haney calling out Lomachenko, and now Lomachenko has the audacity to tell Devin Haney who you fought when he's coming off a loss and he's not a champion anymore, and Devin Haney has a belt. And in a way, he needs to ask Devin Haney, let's fight, instead of saying who you fought. So the fact that Devin Haney offered Lomachenko a pay-per-view fight in the past and he turned it down tells the whole story. But like I said, after Bill Haney debunked everything when it comes to Lomachenko, Teofimo Lopez, Linares, Ryan, and all the names at 135, now they want to bring up Fortuna, a person that already ducked Devin Haney in the past. And according to Fortuna own promoter, Samson, he said and admitted I made a video on that they avoided Devin Haney for the longest, and now they're interested in Devin because of the money and because they thought they had a Ryan Garcia fight on the table, but Ryan Garcia supposedly not interested. We'll see. With all that being stated, the topic of conversation at the moment in time is really Canelo Alvarez, because, you know, we already debunked everything. All the trolls, old media, and the decafs, and even the decaf wizards brought up from the franchise witness protection, so on and so forth. So be on the lookout today of Devin Haney back and forth with Vasyl Lomachenko on Twitter. I made a separate video on that, which I'm going to upload after my live. With that being said, I'm starting to get back to my regular schedule because, like I said, I have gotten my wisdom teeth removed. And because of that, I have a harder time talking. So now it's healing up. Now I'm feeling better. So you guys going to start seeing me more going live. Plus, there isn't that many fights that I really want to see or talk about. Obviously, Canelo Alvarez just fought Avini, and Canelo Alvarez, it's official. New media it is stripping Canelo Alvarez of his pound-for-pound status. He's not a top 3 pound for pound, not even a top 5, because fighting a guy like Avini is a disgrace to the sport of boxing. You know, they justify Canelo Alvarez fighting Avini as his mandatory, knowing the fact that Canelo Alvarez requested to fight Avini. The WBC president revealed that Canelo Alvarez called him last year. As soon as David Benavidez was stripped of his WBC title, Canelo gave him a call and requested to fight Avini for the WBC title. This was such a cherry pick that it cost Canelo Alvarez his $365 million contract with DAZN, as DAZN rejected the fight and said, absolutely not. You got to fight a premier fight. We are not paying you $33 million to fight Avini, a fighter coming off a loss and 2-year layoff. On top of all of that, if you go to BoxRec and check Avini record, he lost his last fight before Canelo. He also, a fight before that, he fought someone with 14 losses. A fight before that, he fought someone with 3 wins and 33 losses. Let me repeat, 3 wins and 33 losses. Now let that sink in. Supposedly pound for pound number 1 Canelo fighting a fighter coming off a loss and a 2-year layoff. And his last 2 fights before that, he fought fighters that had a total of 50 losses. That's making a mockery out of the sport of boxing. Now, Floyd Mayweather received more criticism for fighting Manny Pacquiao and Guerrero and Ortiz than Canelo received for fighting Avini, just to point out the double standards. And then all the Canelo fanboys have the audacity to come and say we hate it because we telling the truth. How is Floyd Mayweather fighting the fight of the decade? How is he receiving more criticism for fighting Pacquiao supposedly 5 years too late when it was Manny Pacquiao who turned down a drug test? So it's Manny Pacquiao's fault because Floyd Mayweather sent him a 50-50 split with $50 million guaranteed back in 2008 or 2009. And Pacquiao declined the fight due to a drug test, right? So either Pacquiao was afraid of Floyd stylistically, he ducked Floyd, or he was on something. Either or, you pick or choose as a Manny Pacquiao fan, but don't blame it on Floyd. And then old media try to make it like, you know, Floyd is cherry picking Pacquiao. Pacquiao is old. Pacquiao this, Pacquiao that. When before the fight was announced, supposedly Floyd Mayweather was ducking Pacquiao, right? As soon as the fight was announced, Pacquiao was too old. Ironically, Floyd was older than Pacquiao. And Pacquiao is 41, 42 years old, and he's still kicking ass. So you can't have it both ways. It's either or. Which one is it? So, like I said before, people lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. And Floyd Mayweather fought 23 world champions. And unlike Canelo, Floyd Mayweather fight fighters coming off their biggest win. He don't fight fighters coming off losses. I challenge anyone to point out Floyd Mayweather fighting an Avini in his prime when he's 30 years old. So you can't. Floyd Mayweather always fought the best coming off their biggest wins. On the other hand, you see Canelo Alvarez, they want to label him as pound for pound just because he got the complexion for the connection to get the ultimate protection, because he's fighting a fighter coming off a loss. This man Canelo fought Avini coming off a loss. He fought Caleb Smith after Caleb Smith lost to Ryder, truth be told, and robbed him in the process. He fought Kovalev after he was 1 foot out of the door and pretty much lost to Yard before Yard punched himself out. He was a punch removed from getting stopped. And the list goes on and on and on. Canelo want to fight his mandatory Avini, but doesn't want to fight Jamal Charlo when he was his mandatory. He requested the NBF franchise witness protection. And then all of a sudden, ironically, old media, ESPN, for example, they had Vasyl Lomachenko pound for pound #1 on top of Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford, for the past 5 years, he should have been pound for pound #1 ever since Andre Ward retired, because Terrence Crawford never ducked any opponent. He fought everybody. He always went to every division and challenged the best. 135, he was the best. He was the most avoided. 140, he was undisputed. Unlike Lopez, there's a dispute right now. There was no dispute when Crawford was undisputed at 140. Now at 147, the deepest division in boxing, he's calling out Errol Spence. He the most feared. He want to fight everybody. And all of a sudden, the boxer, Terrence Crawford, who happened to be a pound for pound puncher as well, he was behind Lomachenko every single time. The topic of conversation every single time was, who's pound for pound #1, Vasyl Lomachenko or Terrence Crawford? And remember the time when ESPN erased Terrence Crawford lost on more than one occasion while they were interviewing Terrence Crawford, right? Terrence was right behind Lomachenko the whole time. So they erased Lomachenko losses on more than one occasion. That's the benefits you get when you have the Hope Insurance. You do or you don't, you will be praised, because Vasyl Lomachenko never avenged his loss against Salido because he told Salido, I don't have nothing to prove because I'm already past that. When Salido was the last man that beat him, right? You do or you don't, you will be praised. They erased his loss. He moved on. Then he lost to Tio. Now they moved him. They removed him, obviously, from the pound for pound list because they had to. Teofimo just beat him. Teofimo now enters the top 5 pound for pound because he earned it. On the other hand, Terrence Crawford, if you had Lomachenko, if you were biased and part of old media, and you had Lomachenko #1 because of your bias agenda, then if Lomachenko lost, the common sense is for Terrence to become #1. How the hell Canelo Alvarez just surpassed Terrence Crawford to that #1 slot when Terrence was always #2 behind Lomachenko and he never lost? Man, Canelo is not even #1 in his own division. Canelo was never #1 at 154. He lost to Floyd Mayweather. He robbed Lara. He avoided Charlo. And when I say Charlo, I mean Jamel Charlo. He turned down a fight with Jamel Charlo to fight Crooklyn in Texas instead of Jamel. And that cost Golden Boy Jamel Charlo. Then a few moments later, Andrade was a champion. Obviously, Canelo was not a champion. Then Andrade called Canelo the B word. He told him, grow some cojones and fight me. I'm going to give you an opportunity as a champion. Canelo respectfully declined. Few moments later, like I said before, as soon as Andrade vacated the belt, Canelo calls the WBO in order to fight Smith for the WBO title. And he requested the WBO to order the fight between him and Smith. Like I said, he fought the whole Smith family, but he fought none of the Charlo brothers to this day. And when he moved up to 160, he was never the #1 at 160 either. He avoided. He said at first he wanted to become undisputed at 160. So as soon as Charlo became his mandatory, he gave up the belt and requested the franchise witness protection belt. Truth be told, for the people that's not informed, Canelo is the pioneer of the NBF franchise witness protection. That's better than any protection. It's better than the witness protection 69 is currently in. From what I heard, the rumors have it 69 might join Canelo Alvarez, NBF Witness Protection Club. That's Teofimo, Oscar Valdez, and now even Ryan Garcia, all a part of. So he avoids Charlo, who obviously Charlo was his mandatory. He doesn't want to fight Andre. He gave up on his dream to becoming the first undisputed middleweight champion of all time from Mexico. So he moves up to 168 because it's full of European fighters. There's only one problem, though. There's a dangerous fighter called David Benavidez, a Mexican fighter, undefeated Mexican fighter, who is the youngest WBC champion, the youngest champion of all time at 168. Canelo never wanted to fight David Benavidez. David Benavidez called out Canelo on more than one occasion. Canelo never accepted the request. He never even acknowledged David Benavidez. Matter of fact, he came out and said, I'm no longer going to fight any more Mexicans, giving up on the Mexican tradition of the Barrera Morales, the best versus the best, the wars and stuff like that. He gave up on that, forgetting the fact that he fought Mexicans before, the likes of Chavez Jr., the likes of Lopez, the likes of Angulo. But all of a sudden now David Benavidez, oh, I don't want to fight Mexicans no more, according to Canelo, right? It's not, when it comes to Canelo Alvarez, it's not just NBF, it's also NMF, no Mexican fighters. Then, as soon as David Benavidez lost the belt, for the people that don't know, like I said, it ain't no secret at this time, he called the WBC and requested to fight for Ivini belt. I mean, the audacity. He requested to fight Ivini, a fighter coming off a loss and 2-year layoff. And if you combine his fights before that, his last 2 fights, they have a total of 17 wins and 50 losses. This is the guy that Canelo Alvarez requested to fight, his sparring partner. Then Canelo Alvarez want to call himself pound for pound. Yeah, pound for pound #1 cherry picker in the sport of boxing. Yeah, Canelo is Europe pound for pound #1 because he just want to fight all these European fighters. He fought the whole Smith family in Texas, but he won't fight none of the Charlo brothers that's from Texas, in Texas. Then he want to fight Ivini instead of fighting David Benavidez or Charlo or Andre. And now he looking to fight Billy Joe Saunders, who moves around the ring more than Andre. But he called Andre the runner. He called Andre boring. But Billy Joe Saunders is not boring. You know why that is? Because he's from Europe. Canelo is pound for pound #1 in Europe. See, at the end of the day, or at least the night, the last time Canelo Alvarez fought an undefeated black fighter was 8 years ago against Floyd Mayweather. Before that, it was 9 years ago. And he haven't fought an undefeated black fighter to this day. Let that sink in. He also never fought an undefeated Mexican fighter. Let that also sink in. So how can you be the best in the world when you're not even the best in your own division? How can you be the best in the world when you don't want to fight none of the black fighters that's around, that's undefeated, that's being recognized as the best and the boogeyman? How can you call yourself the best when you don't even, man, can you call yourself the best Mexican fighter of all time when you don't even want to fight an undefeated Mexican fighter named David Benavidez? Like I said, Canelo Alvarez, he established the NBF rules. Let me emphasize, see what Canelo Alvarez did. I understand for the people that really don't understand how this NBF franchise came to fruition. Canelo Alvarez is obviously the pioneer of, but more so, Canelo Alvarez growing up, he was a young kid, looking up to a lot of great fighters. I'm not sure who his favorite fighters that he was looking up to, but I'm pretty sure Barrera Morales and a lot of them fighters, you know, Chavez, so on and so forth. Most of them guys lost the fighters on the coincidental list. I'm pretty sure that hurt his pride. I'm pretty sure that hurt his feelings somewhere. So he promised himself probably that when he grows up, to avoid his fans feeling like that and upcoming fighters feeling like that, he's simply going to avoid these fighters that could beat him. It's the NBF rule. If you can't beat him, don't fight him. Say he running. If he ain't a punching bag like Ivini or Gennady Golovkin, if he don't block punches with his face technique, if he have some rhythm like Floyd Mayweather, if he move his head, then don't fight him. Say he boring, say he running. But when Canelo fights Gennady Golovkin, when he fought Gennady Golovkin the first time, then he want to utilize running, quote unquote. He want to run a marathon instead of going toe-to-toe with who you want to call Mexican style. Drama show. And when Canelo fought Gennady Golovkin, now all of a sudden he want to move around the ring. You can't have it both ways. Like I said before, there is no doubt about it that Canelo Alvarez is a good fighter. Canelo Alvarez is one of the best fighters in the world today, top 10. He's on the top 10 somewhere. He's just nowhere near the top 3 or the top 5. Because in order to get there, he has to prove himself instead of requesting franchise belts, requesting witness protection. You have to prove yourself. If you are the best in the sport, then fight the best. Fight the best in your division. Think about it. Like I said before, in any sport, it's always the best versus the best playing against each other. It's always, the Super Bowl is always the team that won all the games or most of the games versus the second game from the East that won all the other games. That's how it is in basketball as well. That's how it is in UFC and all the other sports. But in boxing, Canelo Alvarez want to call himself, quote unquote, pound for pound #1. And he want to fight an Ivini, a fighter coming off a loss on the 2-year layoff. And he want to fight a fighter that, if you combined his last 2 fights before his loss, he fought, his wins they combined to 17 wins and 50 losses. Now you do the math. That's like the Super Bowl is Cowboys who won every single game against the Giants that lost every single game. They're not going to go against each other for the Super Bowl. So how can Canelo call himself the best when he cherry-picked the best? So, like I said, when it comes to the WBC, they came on, even admitted. I got the quote. Let me pull it up real quick. Like I said, they say that, like, this is decaf. I challenge you to call in. You don't got no cojones to call in, because the truth is not hating. The truth is reality, and it hurts your ego because you emotional. I don't talk emotionally. I talk factually. Everything that I said was a fact. You can't disagree with anything that I said, because everything I stated was a fact, and you could search it. It's provable. But what you say is emotional because you cool with Canelo fighting Ivini, because as long Canelo gets a guaranteed win, that's all you care about. You don't want to see the best versus the best, because you're truly not a true boxing fan. You a fan of a fighter, not a fan of the sport. That's why you don't have no cojones to call in. So, like I said, Canelo is making a mockery out of the sport. You see Teofimo Lopez following his blueprint. You see Oscar Valdez following his blueprint. Now Ryan Garcia taking a page out of Canelo book. And that's going to destroy the sport, because it's not forcing the fighters to fight each other. And now we just going to get cherry picks all year. I'm not interested in watching another Canelo versus Ivini. I didn't even watch Canelo versus Ivini. I watched the highlights after the fight. Like, I even made my post-fight video for the fight, which I'm going to leave in the links below. I watched that video. I made that video before the actual fight. That's how much of a fight. That's how much the fight with Ivini was worth. It was meaningless. Like I said, the WBC came out and said, this is what the WBC said. He said that Yildirim versus Canelo will prompt them to review the mandatory process. Yeah, you should. Because, like I said, the whole purpose of the franchise organization or designation is to avoid unnecessary mandatories. So if that's the purpose of the franchise, how come Canelo Alvarez didn't activate the WBC franchise to avoid the unnecessary fight with Ivini? If that's the purpose of the franchise, but he used that to avoid the meaningful fight with Charlo. And he didn't choose to activate the franchise designation to avoid the meaningless fight with Avini. Now let that sink in. Canelo requested to fight Avini. By doing so, he lost his contract with DAZN of $365 million. And now he's a free agent. And he still pursued fighting Avini after he lost his contract that is the biggest contract supposedly in sports history. All because he cherry-picked, and he still pursued cherry-picking. That's why this will go down as the cherry pick of the decade, because I never seen a fighter that won a cherry pick so bad that he want to cherry pick a fighter and lose his $365 million contract with the network just because he want to avoid all the dangerous fighters and want to fight all of these Europeans. All these fighters. Look at Canelo last 4 fights. Kovalev from Europe. Who have you fought after Kovalev? Kovalev, Caleb Smith, Avini, Billy Joe Saunders. All these 4 fighters from Europe. Like I said, he the pound for pound #1 in Europe. He's a national pound for pound champion, not an international champion, because he's a champion of a continent, not the champion of the world. Berlanga even came out and said, I would have knocked out Avini in one round. And I completely agree with him, because he said he was a punching bag. That's what Berlanga said. Ironically, that's the same thing Bradley said. Bradley said Canelo is not fighting the best. Avini is a punching bag. He needs to fight David Benavidez, Charlo, or Andrade, or I'm not paying. And I didn't pay either. And neither should you, to watch a cherry pick of the decade. You need to save your money and spend that money to watch David Benavidez, who truly want to fight the best. Spend that money to watch Devin Haney, who truly want to fight the best. You should support the fighters that's willing to give you the best fights and willing to fight the best, not fighters that's willing to cherry pick the best. Teddy Atlas, an old media member, he came out and said the DAZN commentary is biased. They asking who can beat Canelo. How about start with better competition instead of a 40-1 underdog? How about that? How about start with Charlo, Andrade, and Benavidez if you really want to see Canelo take a L, if you really want to see who could beat Canelo, if that's what you're asking? How about you start by fighting the best? Andrade was at the fight with DAZN. He was there. And they didn't even acknowledge him because they know Andrade would have shit all over that fight. Like I said, the last time Canelo fought an undefeated black fighter that's not named Floyd Mayweather was 9 years ago against Trout, and he haven't fought one to this day. Man, you know, if Crawford would have fought Avini, they would have dragged his name through the mud. You know, if Floyd Mayweather fought Avini, man, they would have dragged his name through the mud. Shakur, Tio, Ryan, Devin, Oscar, Chavez, Hopkins, Morales, Barrera, all told Canelo, fight Charlo. Fight Charlo. Quit avoiding the man. To prove you great, fight Charlo. Fight Andrade. Even David Benavidez, fight these guys. And Canelo haven't fought none of these guys to this day. But he the best in the world, though. Oh, but we hating, though. We presenting all these facts. See, what hating is what old media does to Floyd Mayweather. They say Floyd Mayweather ducking Pacquiao. Floyd Mayweather goes and fight Pacquiao and beats Pacquiao. They make excuses. They say he fought Pacquiao when he was too old, when Floyd Mayweather was older than him. That's hating. But when there's legit criticism to be made for Canelo Alvarez fighting a fighter coming off a lost and 2-year layoff, it's self-explanatory. Even the WBC came out and acknowledged that was a cherry pick. There is fair criticism there, but then they want to call him the best and he fights the best when he haven't fought Charlo, Andrade, nor Benavidez. That's called being biased. They being biased toward Canelo. There is criticism for Canelo, and they don't bring it up. So when we bring it up, when new media bring it up, that's not hating. That's called telling the truth. Now you hurt by the truth because the truth hurt. Because I talk factually, not emotionally. Everything I stated is provable. That's why none of y'all decaps have cojones to call in. But more importantly, like I said, Shakur, Ryan, even Ryan told Canelo, man, when you gonna fight Charlo, man? They say you ducking the man. And Canelo, like, I don't care about the hate. It ain't the hate. People want to see the best versus the best. Grow some cojones and fight the best. I didn't come out with that phrase. Andre came out with that phrase. But like I said, it's Canelo Alvarez's pride that's stopping him from fighting the best, because his pride refuses to allow him to fight a fighter from the coincidental list and then lose. Because just like I told you guys about that story of him growing up, he remembers his favorite fighters losing to these fighters from the coincidental list. So he don't want to go through the same thing and have flashbacks of that and make his own fans go through the same thing. Make Ryan go through the same thing. Make Oscar Valdez go through the same thing when he fights when he fights Charlo and Andre. That's why Canelo won't fight Charlo and Andre, nor David Benavidez, because his pride is stopping him, because he knows there's a big chance of him losing. I never said Charlo will wash Canelo and knock him out in the first round. No, it's a 50-50 fight. Andre versus Canelo is a 50-50 fight. I will favor Charlo and Andre, but it's a 50-50 fight. David Benavidez versus Canelo is a 50-50 fight. That's why we want to see these fights. We're not saying it's a foregone conclusion Canelo going to lose. Shit, he might win all three. But at the end of the day, if he win all three, respect to him for fighting these guys, because I will still watch his fights after that anyway. If he loses to all of these three, I will still watch all of his I will watch his fights after that anyway. Win or lose, I will still watch him. So I'm getting sick and tired of these Canelo fans that's a fan of a fighter instead of the sport, trying to act like we hating for wanting to see the best. Nah, you just a fanboy that want to watch meaningless fights of Canelo fighting nothing but cherry picks of 100% chance of him winning. What's the purpose of that? Might as well Canelo need to fight people off the street. If you're going to fight fighters that have no chance of beating you at all, at this level, like the WBC president said, this platform, this stage should have been for a bigger fight, not for a cherry pick of the decade. With that being said, let me go ahead and pick up a call or two. How you doing, AKHi? Who this is, or where are you calling from? Hello? Hello? Oh, yeah, hold on. I got to call back right quick. Just.
Dialing is outside of your plan and.
Garcia, stay on the phone. I'm about to connect you real quick. Just give me a second.
Announce yourself.
How you doing, AKHi? Who this is, and where are you calling from?
Hey, what's up, AKHi? It's Kieran from Albany, New York.
Yes, sir. So, what's your take on Canelo? You saw the fight, obviously. I don't know if you watched or you did it, against Avini, a fighter coming off of a loss and 2-year layoff, and a fighter, if you combine, before he lost to Anthony Darrell, if you combined his last two fights right before that, he fought a guy with, I believe, 14 losses. And the guy before that, he had 3 wins and 33 losses. And he had, I believe, a split decision or majority decision with one of those guys. So what's your take on the cherry pick of the decade of DAZN calling Canelo the best pound for pound. They say he fight the best, and he never turned down any challenge. And he's fighting Avini, like the audacity, calling him the greatest Mexican fighter of all time, calling him, you know, they saying he the best, this and that and the third. What's your take on all, you know, how biased it was?
Yeah, like I just think Canelo, he's a disgrace to boxing overall, and like I don't know if you could call me crazy on this, but I do believe that the fight was fixed because if you looked at it from the third round, Avni's trainer was telling him, "I'm going to give you one more round, or else I'm going to stop the fight." But when he got knocked down and he went back to his corner, his trainer just waved it off anyway, and Avni was completely fine from like any possible damages. And I was thinking that Canelo probably could have just paid this guy off because it just didn't look like he really wanted to be there. It just seemed like that the whole fight was fake from the beginning, and Canelo, like, you know, is obviously doing this to basically stay busy and just basically get ready for Billy Joel Saunders. So that way, you know, that could be like another easy victory for him. Yeah. And then probably fake Caleb Plant in September, in which, like, you know, I would assume, like you know, Canelo's plan is to just basically avoid any tough competition that he thinks that he can't, you know, win against. So he just figures if he could do it that way, he could just do it in the most silent way possible without getting exposed. And I think that's going to come to a very embarrassing end when, you know, people find out that he's basically scamming his own fans.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, the only reason why the fight looks so fake because Avini Yildirim never should have been in a ring with Canelo. It's such a cherry pick. That's why he's the cherry pick of the decade. He never should have been in a ring with Canelo. That's his sparring partner. Like he can't surprise him with nothing. Canelo knows all his tricks. He knows his hand speed, and he's just not on his level at all. And like I said, just the competition, the level of competition that Avini fought before Canelo tells the story, right? And the layoff and all the above. And you know, I just want to make it clear, I don't have that much time. So I really need a decaf to call in. So if you are a decaf, or excuse me, if you're a person that want to debate and you disagree with what I said, because there's a person right here that said, Riley G, he said, "Are you dumb? That was Canelo's mandatory. We already established he requested to fight Avini. On top of all of the above, why he didn't fight his mandatory Charlo? Answer that question." But I really want you to call in. I don't want to scare you off. I just want you to call in so we could have an intelligent debate, a one-on-one debate. And I really want to hear you, Canelo fan side of the story, because I know y'all not cool with Canelo Alvarez cherry picking Avini. I know you guys ain't trying to justify Canelo fighting Avini, but want to question who Charlo fought, and y'all don't question who Avini fought. So please, I beg you decafs to call in, because I see you guys in the comment section. You guys always trolling, being keyboard warriors. But when I'm on live, y'all don't have no cojones to call in. Like I said, I recently discovered y'all decafs don't have no cojones. So call in. So drop your area code. If you already called in, I need to know your area code immediately. I don't see none. I do not see none. So, yeah, like I said, at the end of the day, my man, when it comes to, you know, Canelo, it's just, he's just embarrassing himself and making a mockery of the sport. And people want to say, like I said, when you speak the truth, they want to call that hating. Nah, speaking the truth by supporting the truth with facts that's provable, that's not hating. That's stating the obvious. That's Canelo making a mockery of the sport we love, and we want to see the best versus the best. And like I said, if Canelo fights Charlo, Benavidez, and Andrade and lose to all three, I will still watch him as a fighter. So it shouldn't matter if a loss doesn't define you as a fighter. And Canelo, truth be told, he has nothing to lose. He's not undefeated. He already got spanked by Floyd Mayweather every single round when Floyd was a grandpa. So he has nothing to protect. That went out of the window a long time ago. He robbed Lara. That's another loss. Gennady Golovkin, people that say that's another loss. So like, what are you protecting? How are you going to protect a record that's not even perfect? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's mind-boggling. But I'm looking, I'm searching. But okay, I see one 752. Let me go ahead and pick up this decaf, my brother. Hello.
Oh yeah. Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Yeah, let me go ahead and pick them up because I really want to hear what they got to say. Where the hell is he at? Okay, he said 752. I don't see that. See, they throwing out fake numbers. You see that, my brother? Yo, these decafs so shook. This man threw out a fake number that's not even here. You heard you oh man, y'all decafs or something else, man. Y'all gonna throw out a fake number that's not even here. Like I said, quit trolling. We want one of you guys to call in. How you doing, Aki? Who this is and where you calling from? Hello? Kim, how you doing? Who this is and where you calling from? If you want to debate, hello? Hello? Hey, Kim, you are unmuted. You can go ahead and talk. You've been waiting for a long time. That's why I picked up your call. I need you. I got to go. Oh, man. Okay, hold on. Hello? Hello? No answer. I got to go. We got to keep it moving. We got to keep it moving. We got to go to the next person. How you doing, Aki? Who this is and where you calling from?
What's up, man? This is Brian from LA.
What's going on, Brian? You disagree with anything I said, or you want to talk box?
I mean, I was actually calling you on the Haney thing, but as far as Canelo, yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I don't think Charlo is competition for him. To be honest, you know, Charlo has really one significant win on his record, and that's Julian Williams. But I just don't. I think Canelo's.
You don't think Trout? You don't think Trout and Deviachenko was significant?
My bad. Devianchenko, you're right. Devianchenko was significant. At the time that he fought Trout, I do not think that was a significant win for him. It was a solid win. It was a good one.
Yeah. Now,
I think Trout gave Canelo and Cotto his best, and ever since then, you know, he got undressed by Lada, and he ain't been right since then.
Well, I will say this: he fought killers after that, though. You know, he fought the Charlo brothers after that, so that's kind of tough. You know, you fought Lara, okay,
and all 12 rounds. I'll give you that.
Yeah, he lost, you know, to both of the Charlo brothers, but the Charlo brothers, look, Jamel's undisputed, or not undisputed, excuse me. He's unified at 154 right now. He the best, and Charlo, he one of the best at 160. So like, that's not really a blemish like that, because if he would have lost to a bum, like if he would have fought someone I never heard of and he just lost and didn't look good, but losing to Charlo and giving them a good fight, I wouldn't say. I think he's a good fighter. I don't think I still count that as a good win. But I just wish Canelo felt like you, because see, if Canelo felt like you and felt like he was in a challenge, he would have fought him by now. Because when Charlo was his mandatory, he elected to avoid him, but when Avini is his mandatory, he fights him. So that would have been a big fight. So I truly believe if Canelo felt like you, Canelo would have fought him. Wouldn't you agree?
I mean, yeah, you're right. I can't disagree with that. And you know, I find it very funny and ironic that all of a sudden you want to fight WBC mandatories, but you know, when Gennady Golovkin was his mandatory, he wants to make this big deal about how he's not going to let them force him into mandatories, and he fights whoever he wants to fight, and it's a really bad look. But I honestly don't feel Charlo can beat him. I do think Demetrius Andrade would definitely undress him. I think David Benavidez would. It would be a good fight. I can't say David would win, but I honestly think David Benavidez is the best 168-pound fighter in the world. Yes, and I'm pretty sure Canelo people told Mr. Al Heyman that, you know what, we don't want Plant to fight Benavidez or anybody else. Just have him sit and chill so we can get that easy unification and fully unify the division.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was shocked.
I wouldn't doubt it.
You know, it's funny. I was shocked that Turex went 12 rounds with Caleb Plant, and Turex got knocked out in one round by Anthony Durrell. And you know, I'm like, you know, like I'm like, oh man, if you can't get rid of Turex, how you gonna keep Canelo off? You know, like Canelo destroying
it's gonna
arms.
Be really.
Yeah, Canelo destroying arms and this and that, and you how you gonna keep him off? Like, you got to have skills to pay the bills to deal with Canelo. And I just think that's why he's looking to be undisputed, because he realized it's a perfect opportunity as soon as David Benavidez lost the belt. But you know, I would like to continue this conversation later on this week with you. This is your first time calling in, I believe. I think you should call in more often because you sound like you know your boxing. But I do want to get you. I want you to get whatever you want to talk about Devin Haney off your chest as soon as you can. Like,
yeah, man. You give him a lot of love, and I like Devin Haney. Here's my problem. You were on the phone with his pops, and he was talking about how many undefeated fighters Devin has beat. In reality, there's hundreds of undefeated fighters that we don't know. KSP Lopez last 3 opponents will beat anyone on Devin Haney's list. In his last 3 opponents, they will wipe out anyone Devin Haney has ever stepped in the ring with no problem. So if Ryan Garcia is such easy work and he's the weakest link out of these 4 kings, why are you so busy spending so much energy trying to chase him? You're a champion. You should be chasing Lopez and Tank. And I understand that they show Tank so much respect because, you know, Floyd Mayweather probably put him in check, like, hey, I don't want you calling out Tank. You can call out the Hispanic guys, but leave Tank alone, because Tank would be easy work for Devin Haney. But for whatever reason, he doesn't stress him so much. And I feel really weird about that. Like, you're so worried about chasing Ryan. Ryan hasn't accomplished anything.
Who's easy work for who? Devin Haney. Hold on, you threw me
off.
No.
Tank would be easy work for Devin. I think Devin Haney would undress him with no problem.
Let's make it clear. First of all, you said why he chasing Ryan. Let's make it clear. He ain't chasing nobody. He want to fight everybody. Like, let's not. We have to celebrate fighters. Man, we can't get Canelo to fight any damn body. So when we get a fighter that's willing to fight anybody, we have to celebrate that. So Devin wanting to fight everybody, we have to at least celebrate that, because, see, I respect the heck out of David Benavidez. I don't give a damn if he wins or lose. I will still have the same respect because he want to fight everybody. Same for Devin Haney. Same for Devin Haney, because he want to fight everybody. Now, you said Tank. Tank don't want to fight him, and he made it clear. Now, when he was going at Tank, what was that what you said? I don't know what the term you used against Ryan. I think you said desperate. That's not called being desperate. That's called being wanting to achieve greatness. You want to prove yourself. Devin Haney called out Lomachenko at 20 years old. Man, Lomachenko was one of the best fighters. A lot of fighters didn't want to fight him. The only 2 fighters that was willing to fight him, or 3 fighters, was Teofimo, Devin Haney, and Shakur Stevenson. But the one that was going at his neck like there's no tomorrow was Devin Haney. So he couldn't get a fight with Lomachenko. He got Lomachenko to surrender his belt. What did he do? He went at Tank. He couldn't get Tank. He went at Teofimo Lopez. He couldn't get Teofimo Lopez. He went at Gary Russell. He couldn't get Gary Russell. He went at Fortuna. Fortuna won a fight Linares. That fight didn't come to fruition. He fought someone else. You see all these. You see Devin Haney mandatories fight each other, eliminating each other instead of fighting him. What does that tell you? They want no smoke. So you only could fight who's available. So you keep talking about who have Devin Haney fought. Like, you know, there's a lot of undefeated fighters out there that don't mean nothing. Devin Haney last opponent when he fought for a title, not his last opponent, he was 12-0. That dude had stylistically, he was just as dangerous as Nakatani, even better, because he was 160 as an amateur. Nakatani, his last fight, hold on. Nakatani, his last fight before he fought Teofimo Lopez, a fight before that, he fought a guy with 5 fights and 1 draw. Come on now. That's a fight before he fought Teofimo Lopez. Who are we kidding? At the end of the day, can you name me one fighter willing to fight Devin Haney next?
I don't know what's going on with Fortuna and Linares. Like that whole situation is mind-boggling to me.
We just clarified. Well, Fortuna, his own promoter, admitted it, and he is mandatory, so he could have activated or petitioned for the title at any time. Devin doesn't have to give Fortuna a title shot. Devin, we got to put things in perspective. If Fortuna truly want the fight, all he got to do is petition for the fight, and if Devin doesn't fight him next, he gets stripped. Just like Lomachenko got stripped when Devin petitioned for his title shot. Just like Canelo got stripped. So that same thing would have happened to Devin. But the reason Devin still have his title, the reason he had a voluntarily defense against Gamboa, because his own mandatory didn't want to fight him, which was Fortuna. And now Ryan doing the same. I mean, think about it.
I don't get it, man.
Yeah, so Linares the same thing. I thought Linares want the fight. People started acting like Linares, Devin ducking Linares. So Devin sent him a contract. Now he's saying he never received it. And Gomez, the president of Gomez, said they did. They received it. So it's like a bunch of cap. Like at the end of the day, if Devin fight Loma, they're gonna say he ducking Fortuna or Linares. If he fight Linares, they're gonna say he ducking Fortuna. If he fight Fortuna, they're gonna say he ducking Linares. When in reality, they all ducking him. And they will use the money excuse. Oh, that is not a big money fight. Do you know Devin Haney sent Lomachenko a pay-per-view fight where Lomachenko was going to make more money than he made against Teofimo Lopez, and he turned it down. Ryan Garcia is not more paid than Devin Haney. Devin Haney get paid 3 times more than Ryan Garcia. Devin Haney get paid more than Teofimo Lopez. So wouldn't you admit that you are incorrect?
I don't think he's making more. He's not making more than them now anymore. Teofimo Lopez is about to start making more than him.
Put it this way. Teofimo, Devin Haney will make versus Linares more than Teofimo is going to make versus Composis. And
whoa, you think Eddie Hearn's about to give Devin Haney $4 million to fight Linares?
I know. Devin got $3 million to fight Gamboa.
I thought it was half of that.
Devin got $3 million to fight Gamboa. Now, I don't want to put his business out there, but at the end of the day, all you got to do is just check his net worth. Devin Haney net worth in 2021 is, I think, it's $6 million. In 2020, it was $5 million, but in 2021, it's $6 million. Teofimo Lopez net worth is $2.5 million. So Devin Haney,
he only got like 1.3 for the Loma fight.
Yeah, but Devin Haney more than doubled Teofimo net worth. So all I'm saying is he fought Gamboa and made twice more money than Teofimo made against Lomachenko. So at the end of the day, wouldn't you admit that you are incorrect? Because you said that I don't know. You said that I'm being a little biased towards that Devin Haney or something. I don't understand where you coming from. So explain to me, what do you disagree with what I said? Because you said he's chasing Ryan. No, he just want to prove himself.
Well,
so what do you like? What's your criticism of Devin?
No, let me not say you're biased towards Devin. I just think you give them a little bit too much love when their resume.
Forget the resume. I'm saying he want to fight the best. He a champion and he want to fight the best. So that's all you need to know right there. Like nothing more, nothing less. I could care less about his resume. If he want to fight the best and he making the most money in the division as we speak, that's all that matters. The money is there. He a champion. Everything is there. So what do you want him to do?
I want him to lay off Ryan until Ryan proves himself and focus on Tank and Lopez.
If you put a gun on Ryan head right now and tell him to fight Devin, he won't fight him. He already said he want to save him last.
Bro, they fought like 5 or 6 times in amateur.
Yeah,
He's not scared of Devin.
But didn't he say he gonna save him last because he his toughest fight and Devin beats both Tank and Tio?
I do believe that he's saving Devin for last because he recognizes that he's a better fighter out of those two.
So what do you want Devin to do? Again, I'm trying to. We don't have that much time, but I'm trying to figure out what you want him to do. Do you want him to fight AKHi?
No, again,
to get some respect? Like, what do you want him to do? Like, who you want him to fight? At the end of the day, you only can fight who's willing to fight you. When you a boogeyman, you got to realize when you're the boogeyman in the division, it's not about who you fought. It's the question is who's willing to fight you. So if you can't name me anyone that's willing to fight Devin, then you ain't giving Devin the respect he deserves. Wouldn't you say that?
No. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Now, I respect Devin, and he's definitely one of the best in that division. And I wish they would all fight each other so we can like see our way through it. Mikey Garcia did say he would entertain a Devin fight at 140. He did say that. Now, Adrian Broner talks a bunch, but he really don't want any problems with Devin. He know better. He's all talk. Adrian Broner does not want any problems with Devin. But Mikey Garcia did say he would entertain a fight at 140. So I think Eddie Hearn should give Mikey a call and set that up.
Mikey,
because nobody else seems to want to fight him.
Mikey said entertain.
Linares don't want it. Fortuna doesn't want it.
Yeah, but entertain don't sound that convincing because he said he will entertain a fight with Crawford and everybody. So I think Mikey looking at Pacquiao right now. I think he really trying to secure that fight if he can. Besides that,
Mikey don't want to see Crawford. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, Mikey all talked about that one.
He said he entertained it though. So if I'm him, I rather
call his bluff. Let's call his bluff.
Yeah, but I'd rather fight Crawford than fight Devin. Wouldn't you say if you in his shoes?
I think the risks are the same.
But
if you fight Crawford, the risk and reward are the reward is a little different.
Well, that's
because,
what I'm saying.
Obviously, if you fought him at 140, it wouldn't be a title fight. It would just be, a high level competition. As opposed to Crawford, that would be Mikey's first championship at welterweight, and that would make him a 5-division champion.
Exactly, and he even if you lose, he's pound for pound #1, and he already proved himself. So it ain't like a big of a deal. But if you lose to Devin, that will be Devin coming out party, but that will be kind of like Mikey exiting party. Like he got to leave now because lost to the upcoming star like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's at the end of the day when he says he entertained a Devin fight, that's what he's supposed to say. You know what I'm saying? I just leave it at that. But so I enjoy talking with you. My computer about to die. I'm over here gonna pick up one more person. I'm gonna let someone cook. And pick up one more person. How you doing, AKHi? Hey, my man, who's this? And just get whatever you want off your chest, because my computer's on like 3%. Hello.
AKHi, I'm back. It's your boy Jayden. Did you decaf miss me?
Hey man, listen, man, I'm tired and sick of these decafs that hate the truth, but they so allergic to it. It's like a drug. You know what I'm saying? They can't get enough. They keep tuning again and again and again and again. I can't these decafs off my channel, man. I'm telling you, I can't pay a decaf to call in. They tuning in, but they won't call in because a nation of decafs
in the comment section.
Man, a nation of decafs can't hold me back. A trillion of decafs can't hold me back because, like I said, all it takes is one person to speak the truth, and I can go against a trillion lies, and none of that will graze me. So, like I said, you see them, they troll in the comment section, never have cojones to call in and defend their favorite fighter. I'm waiting. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting on the throne. I'm like 2,000 to know. You know what I'm saying? Anybody
they call me the problem,
get it.
but you could call me the can man, because anybody can get it. Africans, Americans, Dominicans, Mexicans, anybody can get it.
They call me the Devin Haney of this shit, the Floyd of this shit, the LeBron of this shit. Call in and you're going to get this work on some loaded Lux work on split decision. So to all you decafs, make sure you guys grow some cojones because like I said, I see you, decafs. Always.
Please tell me why you always hate. Please tell me why you always hate.
I'm trying to understand why you decaf always hating. But man, I'm telling you, they still shook to this day. Decafs, man, the truth got them shook to this day. Hey, go ahead, my man. Hey, tell me how you feel. We don't have that much time, but go ahead, tell me how you feel about Canelo cherry pick of the decade versus Avini and old media trying to, brush it under the rug, trying to act like it didn't happen. Like, we don't know he coming off a loss and 2-year layoff, and this dude had literally zero chance. They said he was a 40-1 underdog. He should have been 1,000-1 underdog. So cook on that, my brother.
My God, I've been ready to cook on that. You Canelo freaking lovers out there, bro. Oh my God, bro. This man Canelo has cherry picked Caleb Smith, and he beat Caleb Smith like it was a sparring session with a freaking amateur. Then he goes ahead and steals a check with Alvini. And now, did you guys even hear the commentating in the fight? They were being biased. They weren't even speaking truthfully about Canelo's skills. Alvini had absolutely nothing on Canelo. It was literally highway robbery on television. Please, a decaf, please call in and tell me what chance did Smith and Alvini and Canelo's previous competition had on him. Please.
Hey, let me say this.
Somebody do it. Somebody.
Hey, let me say this. They ain't got no answers. You know they don't got no answers. Hey, but listen, he gave Caleb Smith a 4-week notice to fight. He gave Kovalev a dehydration clause. He gave
and Kovalev was old.
Yeah, he still gave him a hydration clause. Avini coming off a loss. Man, he made up his own weight, the Canelo weight. I mean, we could go on and on and on. Like I said, this man, they want a fighter from the hopeless to be the face of the sport so bad. But at the end of the day, they can't fight for him. So they told him, if you can't beat him, just don't fight him, man. Don't fight him when we still gonna call you the best. We gonna call you the best. Just don't fight him, and that's what it is. That's why he fight Avini, and they screaming on top of their lungs. He the best pound for pound in the world. Absolutely laughable. Absolutely laughable.
That is the beauty of it, and that's what makes AKHi's YouTube. This is what makes your channel the best channel on YouTube. I don't care what nobody's got to say. I just want to know if y'all literally think this is the representation of Mexico. This is y'all representation of Mexico, bruh. Man, come on, man. David Benavidez to me represents Mexico way better than that.
Yeah, of course.
He doesn't cherry pick. He fights anybody. David Benavidez will fight anybody.
With all the respect,
anybody.
I'm starting to question Canelo. I'm starting to think he Irish or something because, these decafs had the cojones to question David Benavidez and tell me, Canelo ain't ducking David Benavidez because David Benavidez is not even Mexican.
Yes, he is.
And I'm like, what do you mean he's not Mexican? And they said, because he wasn't born in Mexico. You got to be born in Mexico. Like, these Canelo fans full of shit. Excuse my language, but it's like, man, it don't matter where the hell you from. Man, at the end of the day, like I said, Canelo, he keep cherry picking instead of fighting the best, and that's a fact. Like, he's not fighting the best, and he don't want to prove to the world that he the best. So,
and let's clarify this real quick. AKHi. I'm sorry to cut you off, my brother, but I just want to clarify it to the decafs. Let's make this clear, you guys. Who was Billy Joe Saunders' last opponent again? Okay, we all know who's going to win that fight. We all know how this fight's going to play out. Really, we do.
Hey, Billy Joe Saunders fought someone. This is the crazy part. That's why I say Floyd Mayweather always fight fighters coming off their biggest win. Meanwhile, Canelo fight fighters coming off their biggest losses or like their worstest performance. He fighting Billy Joe Saunders. If you look back at Billy Joe Saunders when he fought on the undercard of the YouTube fight, this man was losing every single round against an unknown fighter. I don't even know who he fought for that belt. Don't forget, Billy Joe Saunders, one thing in common between Canelo and Billy Joe Saunders, they both got busted for steroids. And they obviously got the complexion for the connection, and they acted and they pretended that never took place. let's not forget these two got a blemish on their record. Billy Joe Saunders coming off bad performances against unknown fighters. On the other hand, Canelo, they want to say Charlo ain't fought no one. Well, who Ivini fought? If Ivini was a mandatory, well, how come Canelo didn't fight Charlo when he was his mandatory? Answer those questions if you guys think we hating, and then we gonna pretty much acknowledge Canelo as the pound for pound number one. However, if you don't have no answers to those questions, if you don't have no answers to those questions, then Canelo is currently the pound for pound cherry picker, the number one pound for pound cherry picker in the world, and the Europe pound for pound number one. But with that being said, I got my computer on the dot on me, so I appreciate you, my brother, for calling in. All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All love, my brother.
Yes, sir. All right. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Subscribe and click on the notification bell, and to be continuing on the next episode of AKHi TV. Peace, and we are.